Hello, everybody. This is ST Patrick, and take a little break from Matchup College Football today to show you a severely way too early look at what Matchup basketball is sort of going to be. I say way too early because the original plan was to potentially have this out by Black Friday of 2025. It may not get there, but it may. It still may. But there are some things that we have to do and some things we have to resolve, some things that are not yet done before we decide if it will be Black Friday or if it will be the spring of 2026, hopefully by IndyCon in April. The general idea, like with Matchup College Football, now, yes, if you play Matchup College Football, you will find parts of this easier to understand because they will sort of be secondhand to you. So, for example, every team has a power score, just like in Matchup College Football. And it does the same kind of thing. It breaks ties. And then when there is a tie, just like in Matchup College Football, you use the power score. If it's the same power score, then it's the home team. If it's the same power score and you're at a neutral site, then you roll for it. So everyone has a home and road record. We're looking right now at the 2011 Chicago Bulls. Why did I pick this year at this point? Well, because statistically, the 2011 season in the NBA is the most average. So if you want to get a baseline year to sort of work with what are going to be the average stats over the NBA's history, that's the year. And if you want an era, it would be about 2008 to 2012. So because this seemed like the most average year, this is what we're going with. You can see a little bit of team information at the top just to sort of inform you about the team. The players are right here. There are 15 players on each team. Why 15? I'm sure there will be questions asked. Why can't we have all of them? Why, if they played 28 players, why can't we have all of them? Because as you can see on the sheet, there has to be a stopping point so that the charts can basically go right here. Now, when you get down to player 15, on most teams, you are only leaving out players that played very few minutes in the season. Very few minutes. So the players have a player value rating, which is, in general, it's asking you, how good was that player that year? And oh, by the way, as you're looking at this, these ratings are probably going to change by the time that you see the game. They have an offense rating, they have a defense rating, they have a passing rating. Passing rating is based on analytics. It is not based solely on, how many assists? The analytics for basketball, for pro basketball, have gotten so good by this point that we can have a general passing rating and we can formulate a passing rating that will actually judge them pretty well as passers in general. You'll see a line here. Then the second sort of scores we have are the shooting ranges, 2-point, 3-point, and free throw. This 3PFR is 3-point frequency. Everyone is rated A to F in 3-point frequency. The person with the star by their letter, excuse me. Oh, sorry, I don't have a cough button. My bad. The person with the star by their letter is the highest on the team. So this one just happens to be A star. It's Kyle Korver. A star. It can sometimes, in the mid-80s, it could be B star or it could even be C star if that team just hadn't gotten around to shooting, the three-pointer by volume yet. If there is an M dash, it means they did not shoot any whatsoever. Shooting ranges are pretty simple. These are finders. Offensive rebound, defensive rebound, steals, blocks, turnovers, personal fouls, and then out. Out is Are they even going to play in the game? Are they going to go on the score sheet? You can either roll one time and apply it going downward, or you can roll each player on the team to see if they're in and out. I'll show you the score sheet in a minute. There must be 12 players in the game, so only 3 can be out. What I've done in testing is that I don't always start at the very top and go downward. Sometimes I'll start at the top. Sometimes I'll start in the reserves. Sometimes I'll start with the bottom and go upward. That way you really have a variance in who's going to be out that game or potentially out that game. That's the team. Here is what I think is the heart of the game. These are team charts. First of all, let's show you the chart that is going to be used the most. Take a shot. Oh, I should tell you, the entire game so far is in 2d6. So you only need 2 dice to play the entire game at this point. So the take a shot chart has the numbers between 2 and 12, the rolls, and then it will show you right here who is going to take the shot. Now, take a shot is a manual chart. That is where you will use the shooting ranges right here, and you'll actually shoot the ball. So, and it will tell you if there is an ASD or not on the shot. Let me explain the shots to you real quick. There are only 3. There's 2 field goal exclamation point. There's 2 field goal question mark, and then there's 2 field goal X. 2 field goal exclamation chart is an automatic make. 2 field goal X is an automatic miss. 2 field goal question is you have to manually shoot the ball. Okay? Now, Clay Dreslock is also working on a basketball game at this point. It's probably going to be out next year at some point. He and I have agreed to make it easier on you, and so that you can play both games between his and mine and go back and forth pretty seamlessly. He's also going to use this as well. So you won't have to learn an entirely new structure. If you're wondering about 3-pointers, yes, it's the same exact thing, except these would be a 3. Same exact thing. This is an automatic make, this is an automatic manual shot, and this is an automatic miss. So everything on take a shot is a manual shot. Okay. Take a shot is the chart that is going to pop up the most. Force a shot. That means you got down there with your offense, didn't have an easy time, and now you have to force a shot up. Also 2 through 12. These are going to either be automatic makes, an automatic miss, or it'll be something like a turnover or a block shot. It could potentially be an and one. Depending on how good the team was, the successful shots will start somewhere and then go downward. The Bulls had the best record in the NBA that year. So their successful shots, boy, that's a tongue twister. Their successful shots on force a shot will start at 8 and they will go through 12. The Minnesota Timberwolves that year had the worst record in the NBA. Their only successful shot, if they have to force up a shot, is on 12. So you can see how that's going to vary if you have to force up a shot based upon record. Same thing. All of this is statistically done so that the people who should be shooting the ball, shoot the ball. The people who should be rebounding, rebound, all this stuff. So you have a few and ones in here for the Bulls, but it's possible that they have to force up a shot, that they turn the ball over in the process. It's possible that they are blocked in the process, and it's possible that they will miss a shot and the opponent automatically gets the rebound. You do a rebound battle, which we're not going to go over today. If it goes to a rebound and it's not automatically named, you do a rebound battle, offense against defense, which we will show you the next time we convene over Matchup Basketball. Those are the 2 charts that are used the most. Assists. If you get an assist like these, and it doesn't name the player, you go to this chart right here, where you see primary assists and you see secondary assists. Primary is right here. That's what you're rolling on. Unless, for the Bulls, and it's not the same for every team, you get the secondary word, which is number 8. I don't know if you can see it any better there, but it's number 8 circled right there. That means that you go to this chart. So those will be the guys who don't get that many in the course of a year. That's how you handle it. Relatively easy in that respect. Offensive superstar chart and defensive superstar chart. Offensive superstar chart are automatic scores. Defensive superstar chart means they automatically hold the offense, and the offense does not score. This is where there will be some narrative in the game. Rose surveys the defense, fires a laser AST to Chicago's B player for an automatic 2-point field goal make. Rose drives strong, gets hit, and finishes the basket anyway for an automatic 2-point field goal and an and one. You will see some narrative. For the Boston fans out there, for example, on this chart, in the proper year, I think it was 88, you will get Bird steals the ball, passes it to DJ for the score. So you'll actually see that play on the chart. So you can basically put any play you would like in the game onto the offensive superstar chart or the defensive superstar chart. And again, it also adds a lot of storyline in there. There is a need a 3 chart. What that is for is, okay, I'm coming down. I'm down by 3 points. I want to manually make the call to shoot the 3. Every team will have a need a 3 number down here. These are all the team scores, by the way. These are all the team ratings. Every team will have a need a 3 team rating down here, where you will say, okay, I get to call a need a 3 once a game, or I get to call a need a 3 8 times a game, depending on how many 3-point shots the team actually shot in the season. These are all automatic makes, or it's an automatic miss. And again, it is based upon who shot the most. Obviously, because it's a 2d6 scale, it's weighted in the middle. So these are the roles that you will get most, and these are the players who shot it the most and what their results were most of the time. Every player can theoretically be on here twice, once for a make and once for a miss. Every player on here can be on here twice as well on the take a shot chart, because you can attempt a 2 or you can attempt a 3. So you can theoretically be on here twice as well. Now, maybe you're saying, what are these circled numbers right here? This is a 2, this is a 1, this is a 1, this is a 2, this is a 2. This is how many ticks off the clock each chart is going to take for each team. This is how we're going to pace the game. It's not paced upon time, it's paced by a thing that we call ticks, which will be ticks of the clock. There will be a certain amount of ticks in a pro quarter. There'll be a certain amount of ticks in a college half. The FAC cards, and there will be FAC cards. There will be one deck of FAC cards. The FAC cards are going to average 1 tick per card. Some of them are going to be 0. Some of them are going to be 1. Some of them are going to be 2. It's going to average around 1 tick per card. So where we're really going to get pacing is in how many ticks do the charts take. That could be 2, it could be 1, it could be 0 if you're a super high scoring team. I have a feeling when we do 1990 Loyola Marymount for college, some of the charts are going to be 0 ticks. When we do 1948 or 51 Oklahoma State, which was a very low scoring team because of that era, and they were low scoring. Some of these may be 3 or 4. So they'll be much higher. They'll take up much more time. That, to me, is a pretty good way of handle pacing. Now, I said something earlier, and you probably didn't understand that. I said Chicago's B player. What does that mean? Here you see A, B, C, and D. You, as the coach, are going to be able to suggest what are called key players. And they will be A, B, C, and D for that game. To say that they should be scoring based is probably a little too simplistic. However, scoring is by far the biggest factor. So, for example, if you're wanting to do 1996 Chicago Bulls, you could make an argument that Rodman is the second or third most important player on the team, but he would not be A, B, C, or D because he would get way too many shots. So A, B, C, and D are basically going to be scoring. So there will be times on the fact cards where it calls you, where it moves the action to home team player A or player B or player C or player D. A more than B, B more than C, C more than D. So it's going to keep moving the action there. You may be wondering, oh, well, can I put a player in more than one spot? I explain this more in the rulebook. In fact, I explain it in extreme detail in the rulebook. There are reasons why you don't want to do that all the time. If you're saying that about Michael Jordan or Larry Bird or Magic Johnson or LeBron James, I would say you probably usually don't want to do that except in a rare occasion, maybe once or twice a year. Let's say Michael Jordan is going to MSG. He was always very good at MSG. Let's just say that it is a playoff game and say Indiana is playing New York and it's Reggie Miller. Excuse me. Again, I don't have a cough button. And it's Reggie Miller. You might want to make him A and D. What this is mostly used for, if you're going to use them twice, think of Wilt Chamberlain scoring 50 points a game in 1962. Obviously, A might not be enough. He might need to be A and D. Think of Pete Maravich in college at LSU scoring by far the most points of all time. He might need to be A and D. This is also how we handle outliers. Yes, most games say, well, it's really hard to handle outliers. We can't really have Kobe Bryant scoring the 82 against Toronto, and it's going to be very hard for Wilt Chamberlain to score 100. In this game, you could maybe one time a year with that Wilt Chamberlain only, you could give him A, B, C, and D. Or you could give him A, C, and D. Or you could give Wilt Chamberlain A and B. Or if Kobe is playing Toronto in that year and you want to see if you can hit 82, Kobe Bryant for that game and that game only might be A and B. Or he might be A, B, and C. So you can handle outliers, and it will handle outliers, which I think is a pretty neat part of the game. So the key players are important. It's very hard to see now, so we'll change over here to Minnesota. The A has a target right by it here, and Darko has a diamond. Target means he was a target, which means he was fouled the most. There are times when the game will call for the target player. There are times when the game will call for a diamond. A diamond has sharp elbows on the sides. So diamond means he fouled the most. Target means he was fouled the most. So at times in the game, it will call for that as well. Let's turn over to the back because I have a few things to show you. One of the ways that we think we're going to speed the game along a little bit is that once in a pro quarter or twice in a college half, you will use what are called pace plays. There are pace plays on offense. There are pace plays on defense. What that means is if you're going to roll them on Minnesota, you will first roll a 1d6 right here. and it will tell you 5 possessions. Let's just say we roll a 3. 5 possessions and 8 ticks. So this pace play segment of the game is going to take 8 ticks. And you're going to go 5 possessions, okay? So Minnesota is going to roll offense, defense, offense, defense, offense. 5 possessions. And you'll keep doing it right here. So you can see even on defense, it'll have opponent A, opponent D, opponent C, opponent B, or it'll have opponent point guard 1, opponent shooting forward 1. So what happens on these pace play charts is very statistically tied to how the team played in the year. So for example, again, they had the worst record in the NBA. So on offense, the Bulls pace play chart, you're going to have more scoring than you would have here with the worst team in the league. Also, if you see, there is dialogue, there is narrative in every single line. So you will get the sort of play-by-play feeling of basketball, which I like. So there is some storyline in here. This also will help you speed through that part of the game. Ideally, I think right now, when you learn the game, I think you will be able to get through a basketball game in an hour to an hour and 20 minutes maximum, depending on how fast you play. And that's with full stats, college or pro. You see the last 3 charts right here. These have changed a little bit since these pages were actually made. There is an offensive tendency chart. So what are the things most likely to happen on offense for this team? There's a fast break offense chart, and there's a full court press defense chart. And the ticks are right here. That's how much time they will all take. And so they all have storyline as well. So it'll be front and back. So it'll be the same page. They aren't the same page here, but that's just because I'm just sort of horsing around with these at this point. Is there anything else that I feel like I need to show you today? I think the Need a 3 chart is really cool because it does allow you a little bit of coaching and not as much spectator, where the game is mainly a spectator game. But there are a few coaching choices that you can make throughout that I think are going to be very valuable. This is a pretty main thing that I forgot to tell you. You don't have to make subs. So because we had to make the charts for each team, they will automatically call on players in the charts. Now, we have a method in the rule book. It's a very simple, easy little chart for, well, what happens if a player is called upon, but he's either not even in the game, he's out of the game, he's not even on the roster this evening, or he's fouled, or let's just say he's in foul trouble and I want him to play safe. You will redistribute his action, for example, his action to someone else. And it's a very easy way to do it. I went through a process just struggling with this. It was my one struggle of, if we're going to make a substitutionless game and the gamer himself does not actually have to make subs in the game, how do we handle a situation where someone is either playing safe, someone is out of the game, or someone has fouled out of the game, or someone is just in foul trouble? And we finally found a really easy way to handle that. So I'm really happy that's in the rule book. And so what else is there? So you can, there are going to be some cases, there are going to be some special mechanics on the fat cards, like there is with Matchup College Football, where you're like, oh, that's a cool mechanic. That's a cool thing to happen. There are ways when certain plays can happen back to back. Obviously, there are fouls, there are end ones, there are fouls while shooting. You can choose, and this is in the advanced rules, you can double team a player. You can do some different kinds of things like that. Again, that's in the advanced rules. There are rare plays, and so far it is triggered by if you win the matchup, if your offense is playing someone else's defense on the fat card, and you roll a 1d6, unlike matchup where you roll a 1d10, here you're rolling a 1d6. And you win by 9. You win by 9 or more, the matchup. That's when you roll on the rare play chart. That will probably happen once every 3 or 4 games. That is where you'll find things like flagrant fouls, technical fouls, all these kinds of things. And again, whether this happens every game or once every 3 to 5 games is going to be dependent on who you're playing necessarily. But so far, if you win the matchup by 9, you go to the rare plays chart. Everything that I've told you here could technically change, but I don't think most of it will. There are some things that still have to be ironed out. The ticks for the college teams have to be ironed out a little bit just to get the timing right. So who are we going to have? Well, ideally, what I decided, unlike matchup where I started out with one set, I said, okay, here's the game and here's set number 1. I would like to start out with 5 pro sets and 5 college, which means that's why it's also going to take a little more time than maybe Black Friday, because I don't want to just start with one set, and I kind of want to spread them out over time as well. How many teams? It will be every team in the NBA sets. In college, you will have 30 teams per set from 1 year. So, for example, you'll have 1985 Volume 1. Well, that, of course, opens the door eventually to have a 1985 Volume 2. So it will be 30 teams from 1985. No, it will not just be the top 30. No, it will not be done by the tournament. I can guarantee that what a college set will basically start with is you'll have the Elite 8, you'll have the All-Americans Team 1, you will have at least the top 3 NBA draft picks, you will have the highest scoring team in the country, you will have the lowest scoring team in the country, you will have the worst team in the country. You'll probably have the top 5 at least in SRS, although most of those will be in the Elite 8 as well. And then from there down to 30, I will sort of pick and choose a smattering of interesting teams from that year. If there is a conference that year is known for, in 1985, it's who? You're right, it's the Big East. The entire Big East Conference, the whole conference, so we'll put conference, question mark. The entire Big East Conference is going to be in 1985 Volume 1. If it's 1992, I think that's a pretty good ACC year. There are certain years for every conference, but it doesn't mean that you'll have a full conference in every set. But if there is a year where it's known for a conference. Now, when we get to 1985 Volume 2 eventually, I may just go ahead and wrap up, say, the Big Ten Conference, okay? Or the SEC or the ACC or someone, or Pac-12 or someone like that. Or Pac-10, actually. It will depend on who and when. Like Matchup College Football, I will obviously take your requests as well as we go. Am I going to continue doing the stat files for Bank Shot College Basketball? Yes, as long as Joe will allow me to do that. I love doing that. I love helping Joe. I love Bank Shot. It's a fantastic game, and I hope to continue doing that. What we're going to do here is I want you to have overlap as well. So I'm going to take every team that we've made for Bank Shot and they're going to go in their proper year here as well. And so we'll basically have a lot of overlap of teams, again, so that you can play a project seamlessly with Bank Shot and Matchup. So I'm trying to work with other creators in the construction of this as well, so that you can play a project with multiple games and it still works. That is the idea. That's the idea of Matchup Basketball. I know there will be some confusion because this is a way too early look, and I'm not really taking team requests yet, but as soon as we start to format the teams and to pick seasons. Why are we doing more teams in basketball? I should answer that than we are in football. I learned with Matchup College Football that it takes me, if I don't work on it constantly, it takes me about 3 days to make a team. So when I started to create basketball, I streamlined the process without losing any of the statistical backbone that I wanted to have in it. And it takes me, I can do a team in a few hours. So the process is much faster to make the team. So I'm sure you will have questions out there. I don't mind talking about it via email at matchupbasketballgame@gmail.com. I'll probably have that in the show notes as well, but that's matchupbasketballgame@gmail.com. I can take emails there as well, matchupbasketballgame@gmail.com, and we can just, kind of talk about it. But I think the pace will be right. I think the scoring will be right. I find there's a lot of narrative in the game, so it will tell you a story. We can put things on the team sheets that actually happened with that team that team is known for. They will have a lot of personality, but yet it'll be statistically on target as well. So that's the goal. That's a way too early look at Matchup Basketball, and I will be back with some more Matchup College Football content very soon. Thanks to everyone who is interested in this. Thanks to everyone who is playing Matchup College as well. Man, I couldn't even imagine. It is bringing me so much joy to know that you are enjoying the game as well. I can't even tell you the amount of happiness that I'm able to share with you through the game. So thank you so much. Again, if you have any questions at all, it might be easier to email than to make a comment. Although, if you like the video, please hit the like button. Please continue to subscribe to this channel on YouTube, because that will help us as well. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you soon.